Hi, this video is about writing advocacy letters. Some of the key considerations that you should take into account when communicating with legislators or other decision makers in writing. I think decision makers appreciate hearing real life stories that illustrate key points. So perhaps share your experience, but keep the message simple and the letter not too long. Be organized in your letter and present your points in clear and concise terms. Don't assume that the decision maker is familiar with your industry or the particular issue at hand, but don't spend too long in explaining it in great detail. I think personal, well thought out letters from an individual constituent or group can be a very effective means of communicating with decision makers. A large quantity of constituent mail often catches a legislator's attention, or at least those of their staff. If you are a constituent, be sure to identify yourself as one because politicians are more likely to respond to constituent mail or take them into account. Again, try and be brief and simple. Keep the letter to 1 or 2 pages at the most. Always state your position in your opening paragraph as well as in the closing paragraph. Reference the bill by number and author and subject matter if you're writing on a bill, or clearly state what the issue is. And again, it's important to personalize your letter. Form letters generally carry less weight and are often ignored. Virtually all communications are viewed first by staff, and then given the volume of them, if they find something too cumbersome or difficult to make their way through or too lengthy, it might get put aside and likely not reviewed again. Always be professional and courteous, even if you might intensely agree with the view of your elected official. Perhaps express disappointment, but do so in a calm, professional way and include some sort of action that might be appropriate to address the concerns that you're expressing. It's important that your letter open with the appropriate language that addresses the key points and interests the reader, the legislator, or staff. Focus on your key messages and the top priority that you have. And of course, address the letter first to the bill's author, and then you can send copies of that letter to members of the committee, for example, that might be hearing your bill. If the letter, if the bill's author is outside your legislative district, you should also send a copy of the letter to your Assembly and Senate representative. Again, be sure to indicate that the bill that you're writing about, you use the bill number, the author, perhaps a short phrase or description of the bill, and obviously whether you support or oppose the bill. If you can, this is done so that it also helps identify the proper staff person to get your letter to make sure it is reviewed and acted upon. And of course, send your letter before the vote is taken. After the fact doesn't do as much good. And if the legislator does respond to your requests and of course votes your way, it's very important to acknowledge it and send a thank you letter or follow-up as well.